Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Roaming Travelist. Today I am on a road trip. I am headed down 75 South to Chattanooga, Tennessee for a couple of days. I picked me up a 2022 Chevy Silverado 1500. It's been pretty nice. It's got a 4-cylinder in it, if you can believe that, for my car enthusiast viewers. But yeah, we're headed to Chattanooga. Going to visit some battlefields, Chickamauga, and probably going to hit, it's called Camp Wildcat, which is in Kentucky, on my way back. We might hit some of the trails in Kentucky as well, and then spend an evening doing something downtown Chattanooga. We'll find out. So thanks for joining. I hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content.
A higher power, you got me singing every second, dancing any hour.
Chickamauga is a Cherokee name that means River of Death, and on September the 19th of 1863, this little creek in northwestern Georgia would live up to that name. The Battle of Chickamauga marked the end of a Union offensive in southeastern Tennessee and northwestern Georgia. The battle lasted for 2 days and ended in a major Union defeat. It is also the second most deadly battle of the United States Civil War after Gettysburg. The battle was fought between the Army of the Cumberland under Major General William Rosecrans and the Confederate Army of Tennessee under General Braxton Bragg. Fighting began in earnest on the morning of September the 19th, 1863. Bragg's men strongly assaulted but could not break the Union line. The next day, Bragg resumed his assault. In late morning, Rosecrans was misinformed that he had a gap in his line. In moving units to shore up the supposed gap, Rosecrans accidentally created an actual gap directly in the path of an 8th-brigade assault on a narrow front by Confederate Lieutenant General James Longstreet, whose corps had been detached from the Army of Northern Virginia. In the resulting rout, Longstreet's attack drove 1/3 of the Union Army, including Rosecrans himself, from the field. Union units spontaneously rallied to create a defensive line on Horseshoe Ridge or Snodgrass Hill, forming a new right wing for the line of Major General George H. Thomas, who assumed overall command of the remaining forces. Although the Confederates launched costly and determined assaults, Thomas and his men held until twilight. Union forces then retired to Chattanooga while the Confederates occupied the surrounding heights, besieging the city. From Lookout Mountain, the Confederates could see all of Chattanooga and the Union supply lines, monitoring all Union troop activity. The Union troops became surrounded in Chattanooga, and the leadership began to be concerned about defeat. With the Confederate troops on the surrounding hills, like Lookout Mountain, the Union generals decided to attack them in their positions there. General Braxton's Army of Tennessee was stationed on Lookout Mountain and Missionary Ridge, while then little-known General Ulysses S. Grant was given command of the Western divisions to replace Rosecrans. With reinforcements from Major General Joseph Hooker and William T. Sherman, the table was set for a counterattack that, if successful, would open the door to the Deep South. On November 24th, Major General Joseph Hooker's 10,000 men, divided in 3 divisions, launched an attack against Lookout Mountain. Hooker's superior troop numbers and his impressive artillery barrage drove the Confederate soldiers from the top of Lookout Mountain, giving the Union a victory it very much needed and opening the South for a Union advance. It's important that we remember the battles that have been fought so that we can have the things that we have and the sacrifices that were made. I think a lot of people have forgotten what life was like and what we went through to have the blessings that we have today. Many men fought and died so that we have our freedoms. And visiting places like this are a bit sobering at times. Just remembering thousands of young men that gave their lives so we could have the country that we have today. And I think it's important that we don't forget that. You need to study history so you don't repeat the same mistakes. Always learning and trying to grow. The muffled drum's sad roll has beat the soldier's last tattoo. No more life's parade shall meet that brave and fallen few. Welcome to downtown Chattanooga. Tonight, I'm hanging out at the old train station, famous from the Chattanooga Choo-Choo song. They've turned it into just a place to hang out. There's lots of several restaurants in the train station itself. They have the old train, which has a rail car attached that has a brewery in it. And they also have turned in the rail yard area to a skating rink for Christmas time. And then inside in the rotunda, they have a Christmas tree. This is Nic and Norman's. You may recognize Norman there. He's from The Walking Dead, and this is his restaurant. They have some pretty good food there. I had a lamb burger with some feta cheese on it that was really good. And then I went to the other side of the rail station to the Frothy Monkey and had some tea from Highland Tea, which is a tea shop out of Nashville. They make some pretty good tea. Here's the main rotunda. They were doing Santa Claus pictures if you're into that sort of thing. And they had a great big Christmas tree, which was pretty cool. And then on the other side of the rail station, and the rail station itself is a restaurant called Stir, which I didn't have a chance to go to, but it looks like a lot of fun as well. And they have outdoor fire tables. While I was in Chattanooga, I stayed at the Hotel Indigo in downtown Chattanooga. I have previously posted a review of this hotel from an earlier trip. For anyone interested, I have included a link in the description so that you can see that review. I really enjoyed this hotel, so if you're in Chattanooga, definitely check it out. Second night, we had pizza at Goodfellas Pizzeria, which is a small chain in the Midwest, and they make New York-style pizza, and they have this gangster-style design at a lot of their locations. There's one in northern Kentucky, I think there's one in Columbus, and there's one here in Chattanooga. Lots of fun. Great smoked old-fashioned cocktail I had there that night. Definitely check out Goodfellas Pizzeria for some good pies and brews. Here we are at Harrison Bay State Park outside Chattanooga, walking in the lake. There's a little trail here where you have to kind of cross over a sandbar, which at the moment is underwater. It's looking like a really pretty trail. They do rent kayaks here and they have a marina. However, when we came today, they were closed. So we're hiking instead. But it looks beautiful. Time since I've done this. That's a nice little lake. That was a bit of the split.
So if you like waterfalls, this one's pretty cool. This is Cumberland Falls. Welcome to Cumberland Falls State Park here in Kentucky. This is a great little park. This waterfall behind me is pretty impressive. A lot of water going over that waterfall. It's about 20 minutes off the highway, definitely worth the trip. Beautiful drive in. And then you've got some lookout points. They have cabins, lots of other trails to hike. Just a great place to come and have some adventures. So we're gonna look around. Stay tuned.
The Battle of Camp Wildcat, also known as Wildcat Mountain and Camp Wildcat, was one of the early engagements of the American Civil War It occurred October 21st, 1861, in northern Laurel County, Kentucky, during the campaign known as the Kentucky Confederate Offensive, or Operations in Eastern Kentucky. The battle is considered one of the first Union victories of the Civil War and marked the second engagement of troops in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. When this battle took place, Kentucky was still considered a neutral state. However, the Union wanted to keep the Wilderness Road open so that they had access to the South. The road that you drive to Camp Wildcat is actually the original Wilderness Road, and here you can see some of the trenches that the Union soldiers dug on Hoosier Knob during the battle. So we're up on Hoosier Knob. This is where the Union soldiers fought. There was about 600 Union soldiers from the 33rd Indiana Infantry and the 1st Kentucky Cavalry. So they were up on this kind of round knob with their soldiers. And we can see here still there's remnants of the embattlements where the Union soldiers would hide as the Confederate soldiers came up the hill. And there was about 600 Confederate soldiers as well trying to charge up this hill, which is pretty steep. And they tried to sneak up, so they got pretty close before they were seen. This was one of the first Union victories. Thank you for joining me, the Roaming Travelist, on another adventure. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll come back again next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when I post another video. We'll see you soon.